All right, thanks, Sophia. You can get started.
Okay. Hi, guys, and welcome to the continuation, part 2 of our module on mathematics, introduction to early mathematics. I'm not going to do a summary of what was previously done in part 1 because it is available on the portal. On the offset, I just want to inform everybody, this is not my favorite subject. I have no love or passion or anything positive with regards to mathematics. So, yeah, it's not something that I'm anticipating enthusiastically, but it's part of our daily lives. And I think if we start to embrace it and teach it to our children in the ECD setting in a positive, friendly way, maybe they'll grow up loving it. Because I'm sure many of us will agree that it wasn't taught in a very friendly way to us. And so we don't have a nice feeling with regards to mathematics. Nonetheless, we jump right in, and our first topic is numbers. So for our learners that's online, Tombi and Happiness, I'm going to be asking you to simply just read certain slides and maybe just give an opinion, 1 or 2 sentences on that. We don't want to drag the class out too long. We understand everybody is tired on a Tuesday evening. So with further ado, no further ado, I don't know how that saying goes. We're going to jump right into it. I'm going to read the first 3 slides. After that, Ntombi will read. Ntombi, Happiness will read. Okay, I'm going to ask everybody to just put their mics on mute while the class is on. All right. So numbers, we say, children need to understand that a numeral is a figure that represents a number. Teachers, caregivers can play games involving numbers. They can use wall charts or books that include numbers. And we speak about the concept of rote counting. That is basically children counting from memory. 1, 2, 3, 4. They don't really know what the number 1 looks like. They don't really know what 2 apples will look like. It's just rote counting. They're reading from memory like a rhyme. And then the second point in numbers, we speak about rational counting. And this is when children count with understanding. They're able to match names and objects to numbers. Example, we say here that they can count the numbers of cookies in a jar. So that's rational counting. They can make sense out of the numbers in comparison to the objects. Right. We go now to our next slide. And we further elaborate on the different concepts that come with regards to numbers. And now we are speaking to about rather one-to-one correspondence. And this is when a number is assigned to each object and can only be counted once. Example, playing with a tea set and matching cups to the saucers. 1 cup to 1 saucer, 1 cup to 1 saucer, right? That's one-to-one correspondence. 1 cup to 1 saucer, right? Another concept working with numbers is called conservation. And this is when children understand that the quantity does not change whether the object is rearranged or hidden. Example, no matter how you rearrange the number 24, you will still have the value of 24. And an example of that is 12 plus 12 will give you 24. 10 plus 10 plus 4 will give you 24. So there's many different ways that you can break the numbers up and make them come back to the amount of 24. So 24 is just the example that we are using here. We can use it with many and all different numbers, right? Also very important and very close to erudite projects and our little gems facility, we always include children with disabilities and children with challenges towards learning, right? So what we say with regards to these children, sometimes we call them slow learners, sometimes we call them special needs children. We say that we need to give them space to do as much of practice as they want with these correspondence, with these conservation concepts, and so on and so forth. We also need to give them enough time to practice the skill, to repeat it over and over. You will turn blue in your face. It's fine. As long as that child's interest is still held, let him continue practicing those skills and trying to make sense of it in his brain. Right. We go now on to our next slide, and that is the slide of patterns. This is something that I like in mathematics. It will be the last one that I will be reading. After that, Ntombi will be reading. So with regards to patterns, we basically say these are a regular arrangement of objects. Types of patterns include repeating patterns and growing patterns. So what are patterns? It's basically a repetition of shapes, a repetition of numbers, a repetition of various different things. It's a very, very important concept in mathematics. A simple example that I can give you is maybe if you are trying to teach the children the 2 times table, you every time you're going to add 2 onto it, and then it's going to become 4. Then you add 2 onto it, it becomes 6. So the pattern there is adding 2 every time. All right? Growing patterns, repeating patterns, growing patterns, basically the same things. Now, as caregivers, what we can do to assist children in grasping the concept of patterns is that we must allow them to make patterns with everything, whether it is their bodies, whether it is things around the classroom, whether it is objects that they use daily. If you want them to make a pattern with their crayons, then you say, okay, so the pattern is that you must arrange the crayons green, blue, yellow, green, blue, yellow, green, blue, yellow. To us, that sounds so simple and so monotonous, but to them, it is instilling the concept of patterns, the concept of repetition. All right. Are there any questions at this point? If you're too shy to ask, guys, then you simply just put it in the question box or in the chat box, whatever you call it, and I will try to respond to those questions as soon as possible. Right. So our next topic is space and shape, and we're going to call on Ntombi to read that slide for us. Ntombi, are you there?
Good evening.
Good evening, Tombi. How are you? I don't think Tombi is well. She's not replying to me. Tombi, are you there?
Samia, do you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay, you can go ahead and read your part, shape and space.
Shape and space. These are shapes that are solid and have 3 dimensions, namely length, width, and depth. Examples include spheres, cylinders, cubed, etc. Uses for dimensional shape include rolling, storage for objects. They can also be used, built in different ways extra.
Okay, so this is a little bit complicated to explain in theory. What I'm going to do is try to get some extra YouTube videos and post it on the link so that we can grasp the concept of shape and space a little bit better. Okay?
Okay, no problem.
Right, but now if I'm going to do you that favor, I need you to read for me the next slide as well, please, Tombi.
Okay. The next one, teachers can assist children learn about shape by introducing children to various kind of sentence shape, e.g. triangle, isosceles, scale, etc. They can ask children to compare shapes and their different sizes. E.g. they could search for all rectangle in the classroom like doors, windows, frames, tables, etc. They can explain the difference between two-dimensional shapes and three-dimensional shapes. They can create a shape space by collecting objects like cans, cereal boxes, balls, etc. They can use this to make different structures. They can also show children books, different shapes, and let children pick out the shapes.
Okay, very well done. So that is a lot of
Thank you.
information. We're not going to elaborate on it too much tonight. We will also try to post YouTube videos for everybody to get a better understanding on this whole concept of shapes. Tombi happens to work in the geriatrics. I think that's what they call it, the old people's division. And the advantage that she has with this information here is, remember, as people grow older, the brain cells deteriorate and they basically become like children also. So you can actually use this for people with dementia, you can use this for people with Alzheimer's, and it kind of helps them to retain information a little bit more because their brain cells are depleting all the time. Right?
Yes.
So that goes for the rest of us. If we come into contact with people working in geriatrics, in old age home and stuff like this, please refer them to erudite projects to learn as much as they can, because the concepts that we are teaching here can be taught as well to people with dementia and with Alzheimer's and all other old age related diseases, because they basically go back to the state of being like a child. All right. And this gives them some sort of meaningful activities to do in life, and it builds their dignity, it builds their confidence. All right. Are we together?
Yes, yes.
Are we together? Everybody say yebo, yebo, yes.
Yebo.
Yes.
All right. Are there any questions? I don't see anything in the chat box. All right. So we're going to carry on. I'm going to read Understanding Space. And then after that, Happiness is going to read for us the next slide about measurements. Okay. So understanding space, basically, we're saying that teachers can introduce spatial language during their playtimes. They talk about the position of things. Example, high, low, inside, outside. They can give direction using spatial language. Example, asking children to put the stuffed animals back on the cabinet. I actually have a beautiful chart where it is showing the same object but in the different I don't know what's that word that they use for prepositions. Is it prepositions, Pedro? On top,
Sorry, what's the
inside,
question?
around. The term, the intellectual term for inside, on top, around, behind, under.
Oh,
What's
yes,
that word?
prepositions. Prepositions.
Preposition, yeah. So I have a pretty little thing I came across on the internet later. I will also, if Pedro can just remind me later to post it in the group so that everybody can get just a little bit more of an understanding about understanding the concept of space for children in our age groups that we work with. All right, so we jump immediately into our next segment, and that is the concept of measurement. And our beautiful Happiness is going to be reading the slide for us. Happiness, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, my darling, you can go ahead.
Okay, measurement. The process of finding out how much of something there is, e.g., weight, volume, time, etc. Time. Children can also learn about time by remembering something that happened the day before or what will happen the next day. Estimation. It involves taking a guess about measurement, e.g., chances of rain tomorrow being 25%.
Excellent, excellent. So that is a bit of a difficult one, I would say, for children. For me, basically, what I do with the children with regards to starting off the concept for them to understand measurement is I will give them a big bowl full of beans, for example, and I'll have little small containers. So then I'll ask them, if you take the scoop, how many scoops do you think you will need to fill one of these containers? Then the child will tell me maybe 5 scoops. Then we say, okay, let's start. Scoop number 1, the child puts. Scoop number 2, the child puts. Scoop number 3, the child says, okay, it's full now. So your guess was a little bit off, but it wasn't bad. So the good thing about it is that we know now that the measurement needed for these ones are only 3 scoops. All right, so it's a lot got to do with estimating, using your eye, taking a guess. Eventually, you become very good at it. All right. Now, I want you to further read for me. It's happiness, though, né? That's reading.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, you can, happiness, you can go ahead and read the role of the teachers in measurement as well.
Okay. Role of teachers in measurement. They can provide different objects for children to compare and measure. Teachers should talk about what happened yesterday, activities planned for today, and what might happen tomorrow.
Very good. So you can even do simple things like with regards to measurement, you don't have to go and take out the ruler if a child doesn't understand the number of concepts in the beginning of the year, right? So a simple thing is you will tell the child, here's a line. You take maybe a colorful piece of sellotape, you know, that red sellotape. You say, here's a line. If any crayon is shorter than this line, then it needs to go into this box. And if it is the size of this line or longer than this line, then it goes into the other box. So all the short ones one side, all the long ones one side. So not only are you teaching them measurement, you are also teaching them to categorize things and to put things separately and organize things basically. And that brings us now to our next topic, which is organizing data. So people say data. In today's time, they only think of internet data or data, or whatever the word is. But in ECD terms, or rather in mathematical terms, when we speak about data, we speak about information, useful information. All right, I'm going to read this one here and the one after it because it's also about data. Oh no, I'm not gonna read this one. I see there's only 2 more slides. Let me see who never read yet. Let's go with Ornella. Ornella, are you there?
Yes,
Okay, Ornella, welcome to your first class, my darling.
thank you.
All right, you can go ahead and you can read for us organizing data.
Okay. So, organizing data is arranging and rearranging of data. This can be done according to size, texture, color, and shape. Teachers can allow children objects by themselves. They can also ask plans to enhance their thinking skills. Example, in what ways are they similar? Creating graphs is an essential part of organizing data. Teachers can also ensure that they integrate mathematics into children's daily lives.
Excellent stuff. What extra information or what on this slide stands out for you, Ornella?
I can't think of any extra information here. I feel like it's said it all.
Okay, but what stands out for you? Something that you maybe didn't know before.
What's this? The similarity. I didn't think that data could be what's this? The fourth point, actually, the fourth point.
Okay. They can also ask plans to enhance their thinking skills. Example, in what ways are things similar? Okay. All right. Awesome. Nice. And then the next slide, I'm going to ask my Shumi. Shumi, you there, my darling?
Hello, yes, I'm here.
Welcome, welcome. I
Thank-
left the best for last.
Oh, thank you.
All right, you can carry on with the next slide. They can do this.
Okay. It says they can do this by displaying birthday and weather charts, display charts with various shapes, numbers, etc., singing math songs, counting songs. These songs can be used to reinforce concepts like addition, subtraction, and so on. And also for learning centers, they can encourage them to build with blocks, complete their puzzles. Another point for outdoor activities, they can ask them to measure distance by their steps. They can discuss shapes, their sizes, and spatial measurements. And other point for snack time, they can cup up fruits into equal parts. Families can also assist children by encouraging them to play hopscotch. And lastly, when grocery shopping, they can ask them to compare prices, and when they return back home, they can let them pack away groceries.
Excellent. Excellent stuff. Before I elaborate a little bit more on that, we're just going to ask, I'm not sure who is Samsung SMA1454. Can you unmute yourself and just tell us what's your name, please, my darling? Okay, it doesn't look like Samsung is able to cooperate. Okay, so we will go into the last slide. The one that speaks about the homework. This is your homework, guys. It's called, the slide says activity on the top. It says, as a group, create a lesson, select a topic, include a song, include an activity, include how to assess this. So because we are not all together, we are going to be asked to do this on our own. Remember, your topic here is introduction to mathematics. So any of those things that we spoke about now, any of those topics that we spoke about now, you can choose and then make a song up, or go find a song online, go find an activity that can match that topic, and you need to then submit it to info. Pedro can tell us further how that submission is going to happen. Pedro, can you just elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, sure. You can send it to hello@eridaprojects.co.za.
Okay, can you put that for us quickly in the chat box, please?
Sure, no problem.
Okay, so I need everybody to take a screen grab of that email address. This counts toward your year-end mark, so please try to do it as best possible. Try to have it done within the next 2 weeks. Every day work a little bit more on it until it's basically perfect. You submit it, and the person who does the best submission, I vouch for you that I will give you a gift. I will send you a nice gift voucher just to say thank you for participating so well. All right. Are there any questions at this point in time?
I have a question.
You may go ahead.
The fourth question is include how to assess this. By that, what do they mean?
Include how to assess this. Okay, so because you are in close proximity with me on a daily basis. We can have this discussion perhaps tomorrow during tea break. I can go through it with you, okay?
Okay.
I'm speaking to Ornella, right?
G.
Okay. All right. No problem, guys. I think that's it for us. Please go onto the portal as soon as Pedro or Nick sends the link in the group. Go onto the portal. Onto the portal. Remember, I said play it in your earphones as you are working every day. Play it in your car as you are driving around all the day. Let it soak into your DNA and become so good at it that anybody can ask you at any time any question regarding any ECD concept, and you can babble it down like it's breakfast. It must become something that's simple and easy for you. You mustn't dread it, especially my favorite mathematics. All right, so that's it from me. We have an early class. We only did half an hour today. If there are no further questions, I will now hand you back to Pedro. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophia, for having such a lovely class. And thank you for everyone who attended. Just a reminder that a recording will be posted in the WhatsApp groups during the week in case you want to review this class. It is a very important class, numeracy. It is sometimes a topic that comes up in the exam at the end of the course. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Let me give you back 30 minutes and let me wish you all a lovely evening, and we will see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a great night.
Bye.